I recently purchased this Amazon Fire tablet. It's the firemax 11 that was recently released in 2023. And just for comparison purposes, if you're curious, how does this compare to an iPad? It's roughly about comparable to a 4 year old, 4 year old iPad 7 that was made in 2019. I ran benchmarks, Geekbench, as well as 3D Mark for the CPU as well as the GPU. What I found was the CPU results were very similar, but um, the firemax did beat out the iPad 7 by a little bit. And in real world testing, when I tried booting up games like Roblox or let's say Angry Birds, um, Roblox would just load like a second quicker. That's all. But now, once you go into actually graphics and gameplay, um, the firemax is just considered more like a basic and maybe mid-tier tablet. It can't compare to this iPad 7 over here that's 4 years old again. To reiterate, this is 2019, this is 2023. When I ran graphics tests, the scores were about like 3 times as high for the iPad 7 as they were for the firemax. So, what does that translate into? Well, higher frames per second when you're running graphics type of games or just visuals. And so in the 3D Mark test, this scored about 6.6 something frames per second, whereas this was around 16 something frames per second. So even though the score was triple in terms of frames per second, it was about 2.5 times the amount of frames for this iPad 7. And more frames per second is better in terms of graphics because it's able to process more frames in a second. So, anyways, I just wanted to give that comparison. I ran the tests. If you really want to see me run the test, I can run the test, but that's what I saw through my testing doing Geekbench as well as 3D Mark, as well as testing booting up games. So, just want to let you know that's the equivalent. This costs $230. You can buy an iPad 9, which is 2 years old. So it's newer than this, and it'll easily beat out this firemax 11.